Hi everyone, it's Nadia and Jake. This is Babu Miracle, Buddy, and then Sedona is actually right down here. She wants to be under the chair for some reason, but today we want to talk about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
AKA the final DCU film.
Yes, and we have lots of thoughts. So as always, we'll get into the non-spoiler section first, then we'll get into the spoiler section. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, go first, please.
Well, I would rate it a genuine 2 out of 10.
Whoa! I could have thought you would go either direction, honestly.
Yeah, I really didn't like it. It was interesting. You know, it's hard to care about this film because you know that it's going to be the last in DC before everything revamps. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that they're putting a movie out and it's kind of like, why should we care? Like, discourage people from going to watch the film. But then also you have the whole, shall we say, cast controversy. I don't want to get too much into it because I feel like I will spoil things. But I will say it's so weird, you know, when people go halfway, like it's just half-assed. Like either someone's in the film or they're not in the film, but don't put them half in the film and be like, okay, it's kind of like that elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, right? And it's kind of like the elephant has no role, it's just there. It's like awkward, you know? And I also felt like the dialogue was pretty cheesy. Not my fave, and I like cheesy things, but this was way too cheesy for me, so that says something. All around, just weird. I felt like the ending needed a lot of work. I thought like you could really see that they reshot a lot of scenes. Like I know there was a lot of like drama within the film about there being the need to recast, and you could definitely see that from the way, because some scenes it feels like it was put together rather than flowing, you know, seamlessly, and in the continuity of it seems a little weird to me as well. But they say 5-month time jump from one scene to another without saying what those scenes are. Aquaman's baby looks like it hasn't aged a day.
I didn't even think
I'm
of that.
like, 5 months? What kind of baby do you have? Like, it's like, it doesn't age at all, you know? Like, babies, don't they grow really fast? I don't know. I don't have
really
human
funny.
babies, but it's kind of weird.
Notice.
Right from the jump, I was like, what's going on?
Wait, can I give my rating?
Sorry, yes, go
All
ahead.
right, 9 out of 10.
No way.
No, I'm just kidding. It's like 3 out of 10. You almost believe me?
I was like, what the heck? Because, you know, I wanted to watch this film and Jake didn't want to, but then we wanted to watch it for you guys because we wanted to, you know, kind of put our input into it. So, yeah.
It felt like a movie that no one really wanted to make. It just felt kind of half-assed. Like, it felt lazy, like the exposition scenes, the villain, like none of it was particularly, like, egregiously bad, like some parts of The Flash were. But I actually prefer The Flash because at least The Flash was like, this whole DCU is crashing down to a close. Let's just do some really stupid, weird stuff. And that's what I thought The Flash was. And I thought that was at least entertaining to be like, wow, this is really weird. Mm-hmm. Whereas this movie was just like bland, just like the most disgusting looking action scenes underwater. It was just like a CGI mush. Just whenever there was like a real shot of something, it was like a relief because I thought the CGI didn't look very good. And then, yeah, like the one-liners, Aquaman is just kind of like a guy who just yells about.
Also felt like they were trying too hard with his dialogue.
Felt like a really good Guinness advertisement because they talked about Guinness a lot.
Felt like a dad who was trying to be the cool dad, and then you could kind of like get embarrassed and be like, okay, dad, can you not be around me and my friends?
I think
the dad just doesn't stop like telling jokes that he thinks is cool, but then you know it's not.
The only part of the movie that worked, I think, was Aquaman and Patrick Wilson and his brother, you know, like that they had kind of an interesting dynamic. They were clearly trying to do the Thor Loki thing. Yeah. Like very clear. And they were nowhere near as fun to watch. Their dialogue wasn't nearly as witty or entertaining, but at least that was something. It was something interesting in the film. The rest of it was just like superhero Mad Libs. You know, just like, all right, bad guy possessed by evil thing. Got it. It was just obnoxious. Like, it was just tiresome. The whole time I was going, all right, how much longer is this? If you're just like a casual viewer of these movies, then you might be like, it's diverting. It's kind of fun. Like, it's nothing egregiously bad about it. If you've seen these movies before, it's like, there's really no reason to see it. And I think audiences are catching on to that because I don't think this movie's performing very well at the box office.
No, I either thought that it was going to perform extremely well or going to underperform. And the reason why I thought it was going to perform extremely well was because of curiosity. I also was like, you know, probably will bomb a little bit more more. But first Aquaman was a large, huge success, and it did get a lot of positive reviews.
But wouldn't you agree The Flash was at least more interesting to watch?
Way more interesting to watch. But then again, it's like, I wish that they had not announced the news of DC like revamping itself until all the movies had come out, because it does make it hard to care.
It does.
Because it's like, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere. I'm not really excited. And superhero movies, they were kind of, at least in my opinion, were kind of trained to see it in a continuum. You wanted to follow up with something else, and you wanted to keep, like, that's the reason why we have comic books, right? Mm-hmm. That go from one to another. One comic book doesn't just end, right? It kind of has an arc. So we want to see, it just felt like it was going to end an arc. And the ending of the movie, without getting into anything spoilers again, kind of aiming to have Aquaman 3, but we know there's not going to be Aquaman 3, so it wasn't like a total conclusion.
The ending was, they were literally trying to do like a Marvel Iron Man moment that just like absolutely had no, it was just like, really? Like, this is just like, really? We were trying to like do this now?
It was a person who like embraced his destiny, basically, but like it was in a really weird, it was
nothing
just,
interesting. It was like focus tested into oblivion. Clearly they had tons of reshoots, and they were just trying to make the most bland, inoffensive piece of art they could, and that's what they did. I know this gets repeated all too much now, but it does feel like an AI wrote it.
What would you say about the directing and the cinematography?
I thought that the action sequence were actually, like, I actually wanted to close my eyes, because I was like, it's just such a sludgy mess with the, like, nothing feels like there's any weight to it. I thought the designs of everything, I didn't see the first Aquaman first off, so I didn't really know what to expect for the underwater stuff, but I was like, man, it just looks like sludge. It looks like a mess. Anything that was above water, I was like, all right, I can take a breath. There were some okay fight scenes that were above water, but
I just think the directing was kind of like stalled by all the other things that were going on for the film. Like, for example, it had to reshoot a lot of the scenes, and you could,
to be fair, there's reshooting in all these big
I know, but you could kind of see like they were trying to take, like, Amber Heard probably had a lot more to say before, and you could say that they were trying to get things literally off of her.
It's funny.
Because some things didn't make sense. No, and some things were like, okay, like, you could tell that if they knew, like, everything they knew after, before they filmed, like, initially, you could tell that Amber Heard would probably be like, oh yeah, she died, and then go on with like something else. It just kind of felt a little awkward.
Yeah.
So I feel I have sympathy for like the directing aspect of it, because I think it was impacted by some of the ways that they did it. Probably. I honestly think that they should have just had Amber Heard do like her original thing, because now it just feels a little weird where it's like half there, she's half there and she's half not, but it's like weird when she's not there and it's weird when she is there. So I don't know. It makes it awkward.
And it's funny too, because like a lot of the movies about him and his son, and like there's a scene where he should be talking to his wife before doing some like dangerous thing that's threatening their family, but he's talking to Nicole Kidman's character. He doesn't we don't see the conversation with his wife. It's so funny, because she's just like part of the scenery where she'll show up and occasionally punch the guy.
It just kind of sounds like it's like, oh wait, she's your wife? Oh, okay.
It was just
I thought you guys were just like co-parenting because you guys act like you're co-parenting. You could clearly see that a lot of things don't make sense with them.
It's
because
like
a lot of things were cut out.
Yeah, either you want her in the movie or you don't. Just like make a choice.
Exactly. And it just kind of like half-assing it wasn't great. So can we get a spoiler?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Spoilers.
I thought it was interesting how at the end of the film he said, "I'm a brother," or "I'm a father," or "I'm a son," and then he doesn't say "I'm a husband." Even though it's like,
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He just well, at least I didn't hear it if they did. But I also think it's interesting how when he's taking care of the baby, they make him look like a single parent in a lot of ways, and Amber Heard just pops in and out like here.
They do make him, yeah.
But it's like he's like, and it's that's what I mean.
And the only joke
so weird.
that they had was just peeing on him. On
yeah,
his face.
He has they have no relationship,
clearly,
where they're like actually confiding in each other or talking. It just seems very fake relationship.
No.
It just seems like it was arranged marriage, but we know from Aquaman 1 it's a love marriage. So
also,
it's just weird.
Jason Momoa clearly is trying to do anything with his personality to try to make Aquaman a character, because most of it's just him just acting goofy and just like over the top, because I think he's just trying to imbue him with personality because
Yeah.
otherwise there's really nothing there.
No, but at the end, where it says I'm Aquaman, it's kind of like I am Iron Man, you know, and it goes into like the other stuff, and that's what I mean when I say like, well, we aren't gonna see Aquaman 3. I just wish it was like a conclusive ending where like the family lived happily ever after. At least this universe's Aquaman did, and now let's move on to the revamp. I don't know. It's really hard, like I said, to care about this film initially, even with everything else going on, because we know that this movie is going to probably be remade sometime in the future. So therefore, we're already on, like by announcing that, DC announcing that there's going to be a revamp, what they did, we're already, I think, mentally already on to the next thing, you know, before. It's like, why do I need to watch this film? There's already going to be another one in the future anyway, because they're revamping storyline, they're revamping everything else. What I liked about Marvel is that before they moved on to phase 2, they closed phase 1 and it had a conclusive ending for everyone that mattered in the original phase. And I think I really wish DC did something like that before they moved on.
They were trying to be self-aware about the whole Thor-Loki dynamic they were trying to do. When he literally calls him Loki, I'm like, what are we even doing like this?
Well, I also thought their relationship was a little dumb because like they're like, you know, family it's like, I guess a little quirky thing. It's like, you know, siblings fight, but you know, at the end of the day, you guys are family.
That was a good impression of my mom.
Thank you. But you know, the thing is that like, you know, it's a little bit more than a fight, but it's like at the end, I like their sibling relationships, but it was just also like so much line was cheesy. Like, you stole your brother's throne and his wife and his girl, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, you know, it's just kind of like cheesy and dumb, and it just doesn't. It just.
You know what I thought was funny was the bad guy, once he's no longer possessed by the demon and he's hanging there in this like chasm about to fall. First off, there's a lot of scenes in this movie where there's just like they have to escape a collapsing cave or whatever. He's hanging there, and Aquaman does the bigger thing and like reaches a hand down to help him up, and the guy who's about to die, he's just like, nope. Just lets go and dies. And it made me laugh because I'm like, we really don't know much about this character. Like, I get he was in the first movie and I haven't seen the first movie, but most of what he does in this movie is because he's been possessed by some like mythical bad guy. And it just makes everything feel so uninteresting.
Well, so here's the thing that I have a problem with the whole, you know, antagonist arc of this film is that at first he wants to seek revenge against Aquaman because Aquaman is the reason that his dad was killed. Mm-hmm. However, it's like because he gets possessed slowly and maturely with the green black trident, like it's like that plot is gone. And then he just kind of becomes like, you know, just pure evil, and he gets possessed. To destroy the world. At the end, he ends up releasing the bad guy, the true bad guy. Aquaman and his brother, you know, they have like a little brotherly moment where they're like, no, give me the trident, because the Aquaman's brother then gets possessed, and then give me the black trident, like I'll try to, like, you just gotta trust me. And then he throws it at the villain. The villain is just like until Aquaman can throw the other trident at him. That
was so dumb.
And it's like, you've been released. There's nothing. And it's just like this. And the other one goes, like goes right his trident goes through it and goes like, oh,
it's literally
like, can you have fought the actual true villain? Like,
oh no, the bad guy got released.
Like, it's not even about like, it's not even about anyone who was possessed before. Like, this is the actual like reason, right? He wanted to actually. Like, this is the bad guy who wanted to actually claim the throne, invented the black trident so that he can, you know, overthrow Atlantis, because it was brother against brother. He's of the bloodline, Jason Momoa's character. So, like, he's able to really put a shakedown at it. But it just felt so cheap the way it was done, because he literally throws it at the end and there's no climax in that scene. It was just like, oh, cool, you did it. He just pauses for like 10 seconds. It just wasn't that great.
And also, I don't understand why all of the bad guys' minions were like with him and supporting him as he was trying to like destroy the world with global warming. Like, most of them were scientists, I thought. It's like
they were all especially like he's like there was only one guy. It's just, I guess they were all evil.
His one henchman was like, oh, I'm just doing this So the only reason the henchman was doing it because basically it's like, I have to do it or else he'll kill me. And then
But the other ones seemed power hungry.
yeah, it just was really dumb. Like,
but then it's like, what? Like, this guy's possessed to do as evil as he's doing. What are all the other people like excuse? Because all these other people, they're not even like, they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's like I don't understand.
But also, like, I don't know what they were trying to express. Like, it just seems very counterintuitive when they're on that like Pacific Island with all the big bugs on it. First off, CGI and Peter Jackson's King Kong with all the bugs looked way better than any of the bugs in this movie 20 years later, you know. When the Atlanteans or whatever show up to that island, they just start bombing it relentlessly to destroy the whole island. Like, this is an ecosystem with all this life and everything, but they're just like, no, we're going to go full, just like...
full throttle.
Full U.S. military, just bomb it into oblivion. Like, and they're supposed to be the good guys, like, just destroying this environment.
I also thought it was kind of like, yeah, it's contradictory when they're trying to, like, save the planet, but they're not doing it. But also,
just destroy this entire island.
I also thought it's funny, like, at the very end, go back to the speech that Aquaman made, where he's actually addressing the UN, and he goes, "I'm Aquaman," you know. It's like, I don't think you really do that at a UN speech. So it's kind of all over.
Wait,
the
can you
place.
do that impression again? That was good.
Aquaman.
Who cares? Like, the movie wasn't really about them revealing themselves to the world, and like the world, we have no connection to the world. They show all these shots of like people watching on TV. Who cares? Like, none of this matters.
It just was all over the place, and I don't know if it was because of all the drama going on, the reshoots. I think that was a big part of it because, like I said, you can clearly tell that people are like, they're running over dialogues, a lot of scenes that was cut because it's like, oh, okay, that seems very unfinished and unpolished. And they were trying, and I'm sure there's a lot of political thing going on within the corporation of DC Universe in itself because of the, you know, they're remaking it because of the casting drama, because of everything else. So, you know, I do have sympathy, but at the end of the day, like, I just think this was a huge fail.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like it. I really did. But then when I was watching it, I was like, oh man, when is this done? You know?
Yeah. It was like the definition of going out with a whimper and not with a bang.
I went to the bathroom once for 5 minutes and it was a relief.
It was nice going to the bathroom. Yeah. I remember that.
All right. Well, let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.